What's Japan's old Class J really like? These older seats can be found on their domestic 767 and 737 aircraft, and I head to Hiroshima to find out. Speaking of Hiroshima, I'll also show you some of the tasty eats you can find in this Western Japan prefecture before jumping on board, and I'll give you a peek in how I do these weekend trips. Come with an empty stomach and empty carry-on, and let's enjoy. Good morning and welcome back to another video, and welcome back once again to Hiroshima. I thought today I'd bring you along to show you Japan Airlines Class J on one of their 767 aircraft. Class J is Japan Airlines step-up premium seating product. I'm not going to quite call it a business class seating, but there are two types of seats. One could be found on their A350 and Dreamliner aircraft, which I flew on and showed you I think 2 or 3 years ago, and the others on their 767 and 737 planes. I'll also go over the pricing scheme and see if there's any value in the seating should you wish to do some flying with them. My flight to Tokyo is set to depart at 12 noon, so come along as we go from A to B. And of course, since we are in Hiroshima, I'm definitely going to have a few words of the delicious food that you can find here. Well, it's nice to be back in Hiroshima for one of my many weekend trips. Looking back on my notes, this would be the only time I flew here in 2024, and I was last here in October 2023. Too long. There is no standard for premium seating on the two mainline carriers in Japan, and each do things in a slightly different manner. In Japan Airlines' case, seating is separated into economy, Class J, and first class. Before we jump on board and check out the Class J, we gotta backtrack a bit. The airport is quite far from Hiroshima on these weekend trips, and I never quite reach the city. I tend to stay in Higashi Hiroshima, the city east of the prefecture's capital, and a close stop to the airport. It's a quiet city from my experience and a nice break from the hustle and bustle of Tokyo. My tradition when I fly in the previous night is to enjoy some Hiroshima fried oysters. Those crispy panko breaded oysters are just heaven, and the meal comes with some sauces, salt, and wasabi, which you can use as you please. The meal set also comes with rice and this unbelievable tonjiru, a pork soup. Simply amazing, and I come here every time. These weekend trips are no more than 24 hours, sometimes 18. So the next morning, bright and early, it's time to take the bus and head back to the airport. Back inside, and with everything being digital nowadays, especially for domestic flights, the check-in counters often sit idle with only passengers dropping off checked baggage and the odd passenger consulting for their international connection. Another tasty treat from Hiroshima lies in the airport, and we don't have to walk far to find some Momiji manju. It's easy for a dozen or more of these sweet cream-filled cakes to fall into my carry-on. Here there's red bean, green tea, custard, and chocolate. Which is your favorite? These are actually very popular, and they bake them right in the airport, which I think is pretty cool, and they're a hot commodity for passengers flying out. And of course, what's an airport in Japan without the observation deck? Now, granted, Hiroshima is not as busy as the larger airports in the country, but if the weather cooperates like it is today, it's worth grabbing a canned coffee and enjoying the few planes that visit the airport. Hiroshima Airport is an international airport with destinations around Asia, such as Taipei, Seoul, and Hong Kong. And here's our 767 arriving from Tokyo. So it's about time we head downstairs and go through security. Today we're departing from Gate B, and as you can see, our plane is delayed by a whole 5 minutes. Funny, a 5-minute late plane in Canada would be considered 10 minutes early at least. Our plane turned around fairly quickly, and then it was our turn to board. Today we'll be seated in 7K for our flight back to Haneda. Boarding was very quick, and at 12:08 we pushed back. We waved bye to the ground staff, and then we got underway. And if this is your first time joining us, I welcome you to the channel and invite you to subscribe for continued travel and aviation related content. We're just about at the 3,000 subscriber mark, so many thanks who have joined me for my trips around the world. I'll be switching gears shortly, and we'll be bringing you some videos from North America from a couple of carriers over there. Japan Airlines has two configurations for their domestic 767 aircraft, seating either 252 or 261 passengers. It's easily identifiable as a higher configured plane lacks a one-row business class. Both configurations have the same number of Class J seats at 42, and there's 4 lavatories on board. Our plane is 22 years old, being delivered to Japan Airlines back in May of 2002, and flew with them ever since. The Class J on the 767s is laid out in a 222 seating configuration over 7 rows, with an off-white interior, black seats, and carpet. 3 monitors provide flight information. The black leather seats are large and well cushioned with the Japan Airlines branded maroon antimacassar, and it's the main star in the Class J world. The seats are definitely a step up from the standard economy seats. Each pair of seats has a wide center console. The outer armrest contains the controls for the seat recline and footrest, which I show you here as the seat beside me was unoccupied during this flight. The center console contains a cocktail tray, the audio controls, light, and call buttons. Seatback is as basic as the seats we've experienced on Porter, with the top containing only a jacket hook. The pocket contains several pieces of literature, and well, that's about it. Seat pitch is very generous, coming in at 38 inches, and with no entertainment box, there's a lot of space to store your belongings underneath. This particular 767 has no in-seat power, but some do, and it's kind of hit or miss. They would be located on the center console with the blue glow similar to this, which I found on my previous flight in economy. The pocket contains a safety card, Japan Airlines Domestic Skyward magazine. Yes, they make a different version for both their international and domestic flights. And there's the Japan Airlines shop catalog, where you can purchase Japan Airlines instant noodles, chocolate, candy, and meals. The perfect gift this time of year for the app geek in your life. And above you have access to a reading light. Overall, it's a very comfortable and relaxing way to fly. There's something to be said about these older seats. Although the newer iteration of seats have more bells and whistles, they are not as plush as these seats, and I would have no issues sitting here for a long-haul flight. Japan Airlines provides free Wi-Fi on all their domestic routes, and the service is easy to connect to. One thing I do like with the free Wi-Fi is being able to spot planes from the air, and I caught this Delta Airlines flight from Seattle heading to Shanghai. The IFE system is streamed to devices as well, and it's easy to access. The selection is small compared to an international flight, but since most flights in the country are 2 hours or less, the content fits the parameters of the flight times. This year they included Tokyo Vice on the IFE, an excellent series which I enjoyed on my flight last night. Those audio controls in the console I spoke of earlier are from a bygone era, and they're not used anymore. The drink service in Class J is identical to that of economy, offering coffee, tea, soup, pop, and juice. And for the onboard service, I enjoyed a coffee with a Momiji manju. Chocolate in particular because, well, chocolate is the best. The tray table is nice and wide, providing enough space for all the essentials. And yes, I still use that device holder for my Porter Reserve flight a few years back. And here's a look at one of the lavatories on board. It's a step back in time with the full stainless steel counter and the old style faucet, which I don't think I've seen since my flight on Asiana's 747 or Jeju Air's 737. Can't remember which one. And with that comes the end of the flight. The Class J, which can be found on domestic flights throughout Japan, is a very comfortable product with lots of space. There's something to be said about these older style seats, and they provide a relaxing way to travel. It should be noted that the fare only provides a better seat. There's no priority boarding, lounge access, or an enhanced catering on board. You do get a bonus Japan airline mileage or One World points should you collect them. When it comes to booking Class J seats, it used to be an upgrade starting at 1,000 yen, and I found this general rule of thumb fairly consistent, but I find this no longer to be the case. With the sample fare shown on the screen, you can see the Class J for the 705 flight is 2,100 yen more, while for the 830 flight, it's almost double the economy fare. So there's quite a spread in the price for the upgrade. I do find the better prices are on flights operated with the larger wide-body aircraft, while flights operated with the 737 or Japan Airlines subsidiaries such as J-Air and Japan Transocean Air fetch a much higher premium. Like today, I'll snag a Class J seat if I can get it for 2,000 yen or about 20 bucks, but I don't do it very often, maybe once or twice a year. The price for this one-way flight in Class J came out to just under 13,000 yen. Thanks for watching. Let me know your thoughts on Japan Airlines Class J, and I'll catch you in the next video.